Hey, everybody, and welcome to Disruptor Discussions Masterclass here with Hillary DeCesar. I'm so excited to have you today. Thank you.
So good. And I love the music as the beginning. Totally fires me up.
Us too. So great selection. Thank you for that. Hillary's got a really, really interesting presentation today, so I'm excited to get right to it. Before we do, I'll give you guys a little background about who we are and why we're here. My name is Jennifer Fry, and I'm the CEO of Appreciated Asset Business Solutions, where we create, build, and fill sales pipelines for industry disruptors. And we do that with done-for-you services, such as appointment setting services that are really concierge level. We also do that with done-with-you services like prospecting strategy and sales department assessments and all of the things that fall underneath there as well. So we really work hard for our clients to make sure that we can help them grow their businesses, create more revenue. I'm a firm believer that there are zero problems that more revenue in a business. There are zero business problems that more revenue for that business cannot solve. And I have experienced this throughout our journey. We are now entering year 7 at Appreciated Asset, which is really exciting. And as much as we bring more revenue to our clients through our services, over the years, I've met incredible experts who are doing the same thing in their own expertise, their own way to bring more revenue for clients as well. So I started Disruptor Discussions because I wanted to highlight these incredible brains, these incredible minds that I was meeting, and show this audience all of the different ways that you can use these expertises to grow your business and think of new ideas and really get outside the box when it comes to ways to grow your business. We often get asked the question about disruptor because I talk about disruption a lot. I think it's the best way to stand out. I think it's the best way to separate yourself from the noise. But it's not just about being a disruptor for disruptor's sake. So I often get the question about, well, what does that really mean? So for me, a disruptor is someone who stands outside of status quo, who delivers in a way that is so vastly different from anyone else in their space that it's apples and oranges. There would be no one else to work with. And by doing so and having that sort of differentiation, you are really able to eliminate any of that perceived competition from consideration. Because again, there would be no one else to work with. It wouldn't even make sense. So let's talk about Hillary. Okay, Hillary and I met, gosh, maybe 6 months ago or so, a little bit longer.
It's been a fast and furious friendship.
I know. It was love at first sight for me.
It really was. It really was.
I'm going to tell you guys something about this lady. Every person that I connect her with, every single person that I introduce to Hillary calls me to thank me because she's so incredible. It's remarkable. Getting to spend time with her is such a gift. She has a light and a presence about her that it's just unmatched. And she's just one of those people that you meet her and you just want to be in her space. She and I have had some similarities in our paths, personally and professionally, and we've got that kind of camaraderie there. But Hillary is all about the relaunch. She's all about reinventing yourself and starting your life again and going to that next chapter. And I think having someone to exemplify that resilience and exemplify that sort of tenacity is so important because, look, entrepreneurial, this life is not super easy. Life in general isn't super easy, and you may find yourself in one decade in a very different position than you were the decade before, where you didn't think things were going to look like they do. And that doesn't have to be a sad story. That can be your new story. That's your new chapter. And so I've been so fortunate and grateful to know you, and I am so excited for you to be here. I'm going to read her bio. It will make me feel incredibly underachieved. So please bear with me because this is incredible. Hilary DeCesar is an award-winning peak performance business and mindset mastery coach, 3 times international best-selling author of Relaunch Spark Your Heart to Ignite Your Life, and founder of the Relaunch Co. Hilary is deeply passionate about neuropsychology and holds a year-long master coaching certification, along with a degree in psychology. Drawing from her expertise, she has developed an innovative framework called 3HQ and the Tune In Power Tool. More on this soon. The 3HQ team revolves around the headquarters of oneself, focusing on the 3 H's, head, heart, and highest self. It has spurred massive relaunches for people both personally and professionally all over the world. And with her signature course and private coaching for over 23 years has helped thousands reinvent their lives, businesses, and relationships. Hilary's mission is to spark growth, change, and impact for Gen X to be the most relevant generation. I'm on that train with you. Hilary's work and insights have been featured on ABC's The Secret Millionaire, as well as NBC, Forbes Coaches Council, Fox, Pix 11, Entrepreneur Magazine, New York Weekly, and Yahoo Finance. She hosts the top 1.5% rated The Relaunch podcast, co-host of TV's Wake Up with Marcy and Hilary, and is a sought-after public speaker. Her outstanding contributions to the business world were recently acknowledged with the honor of being named the top business leader in 2023 by Now Honors. She has been on the board of Cal Poly, San Luis
Obispo.
Oh gosh, I knew it was going to
San Luis Obispo.
San Luis Obispo for the last 5 years, and is passionate about helping to impact college students and create a more meaningful university experience of learn by doing. Hilary has recently shared the spotlight with Mel Robbins in Life and Style's top 10 impact-driven leaders to follow in 2024. Wow, that's amazing. So without further ado,
I hope that didn't bore everyone.
oh my gosh, yeah, everyone's still here. You guys, as we go through this, if you have questions, if you have, specifics or you want clarification, please chime in and let us know. But the way we're going to do things today is a little bit different than the way we've been doing things. Typically I kind of hand things over, our host presents, and then we have a dialogue. Sometimes we've done a hot seat with a guest, and today, Hilary has asked me to be, I guess, in the hot seat to go through this exercise, which is, it's exciting and vulnerable, and let's do it because you get uncomfortable and then you grow, and I'm willing to do that. So we're going to go through her 4 steps to tune in. I'm really excited, but before we go there, why don't you give us a little bit of a background as to how you got here and what we need to know before we get started.
Okay, so first off, Jennifer, sending you the biggest hug. I mean, love seeing you, love every time we ever get together, it feels like sparks are flying. So for those that are on right now, for those that are watching later, stay tuned because this is going to be so powerful, what we're going to be talking about. And it's what I actually do with people that pay thousands upon thousands of dollars in order to up level and relaunch themselves and their business into the next level of success, what I like to call your remarkable. And so I'm going to be taking Jennifer through this. Literally, I want you guys grab paper, pens, type it into your computer, because once you master this process, which is 2 minutes or less, it will literally impact your bottom line, your profit margins today. I mean, that's how good it is. And it's been in the works, as you said, for over 2 decades. I've been doing this. And this is the one thing that actually makes a difference. And it can make a difference, not in 6 months, not in a year, not in a month, today. So I'm super excited to share that with everyone out there.
Awesome. So why don't let's get started. Let's jump right in.
Okay.
'Cause I have a
So
feeling
what I want to do is, you mentioned 3HQ, the headquarters of you, your head, your heart, your highest self. And sometimes people are like, whoa, highest self, what does that mean? Think of it as the best version of you.
Mhm.
Okay. And when you're out of alignment, it's when you're on the relaunch roller coaster. You're up, you're down, you've got revenue, you don't have revenue, you hit your milestone, then you don't. And you sit there and you're like, what is going on? What is really happening here? Why am I not able to maintain the same level of growth quarter over quarter? And so when you think about relaunches, it's not so much that you are completely pivoting, but it's about your up leveling. And when I say remarkable, I deal with women and men who are at the top 2% in the world, celebrities, CEOs, entrepreneurs, but I also work with those that want to be in that top 2%. And so, how do you work with those two audiences and be able to use the same tool and have results occur at different levels at different times? So, at any stage, any age, here we are. This is what it's all about. And you mentioned the relaunch. And again, you can have positive relaunches and you can have negative relaunches. And I want you all to think about this: personal, professional. We're talking about those transitions, and it can be in business, like, hey, I'm trying to grow my business. Why is it stalling out? This isn't working anymore. There's been worldly relaunches that have affected my industry, my market, my clients. How do I keep working through this? Then you've got your own personal health. And if you're looking at, it's really Gen X. And I love, Brene Brown said this. She said, midlife is 35 until you're dead. 35 until you're dead. So if that's the case, and I want to create the relaunch revolution of people that feel like, as they're entering in this next phase of their life, that this is actually the most significant, the most relevant in their life. And you're like, okay, so how do I do it? You heard Jennifer say that I have been studying neuroscience. I've actually had the privilege for almost 15 years now of working with, I call him the master, the guru, John Assaraf. He was part of The Secret. I got a great story there around The Secret. And when my mom handed me the book and I was down and out and getting a divorce, 3 little kids, and all of a sudden something clicked. And I realized that there are, and by the way, I worked in Silicon Valley. I was a CEO in Silicon Valley. I worked at Oracle for almost 10 years. We're talking like left brain, logical. Give me the steps, give me the procedures, tell me my quota, let me know what I need to do, and I'll do it. And something changed. Relaunches started changing, and relaunches were coming at me. And I realized you have a choice, that you can have a relaunch actually be positive or negative. And the choice is so incredible because it makes you think: head, thoughts; heart, emotion. And then we've got your deepest aspirations in highest self, best version of you. You're remarkable. And as I was starting to work with people around this and saying, okay, we're going to, everyone, I would have everyone put on a whiteboard. And I had a business with another awesome, high powered woman, Debbie Monroe. And we had this company called White Space Inc., INK. And one of the first things we did with leaders is say, okay, on this whiteboard, put everything that you're currently doing, where you want to go, revenue goals, blah, 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 all that stuff. And they would diligently put all this stuff in. And then we'd say, okay, erase it. They'd be like, oh, what? I need a picture of it. I need this. And yet I've never spent so much time. And we would start over with, what's the one thing after you've just done all of this that will truly impact your business? Stop with all this other stuff, because we all create our own being busyness. We do. So how do you focus? So what we came up with and what I created around 3HQ is what could you do immediately? What could you do like right now if you have revenue goals and you said you talked about money and everything in your business could be solved with more money, unless it's mismanaged, unless the focus isn't there, unless your energy around where you're taking your business isn't there. And we've all heard of Simon Sinek. We've all heard, in fact, I just had him on my podcast and you mentioned the Relaunch podcast. And it's interesting because his whole thing was around, it's not what you do, it's not how you do it, it's why you do it. Think about 3HQ, headquarters of you. It came out of the 60s. IQ was huge, right? How intelligent. Then we got into the 80s, 90s, EQ, emotional quotient. And then Sheryl Sandberg told us lean in the early 2000s. Some did, it didn't work. Some tried, failed. We all were like, what is going on? Now it's 3HQ. People are understanding that it is your thoughts and your emotions that we have control over, and we don't let them go rogue in order to have success. And so I was explaining this and people were like, net it out, give me a quick fix, give me the pill I can swallow fast. And that is where our society is. And I'm like, you know what? I get it. I get it. Time is of essence. So when you think that everything is energy, everything, your thoughts are energy. And if you are in fear, if you are angry, if you are anxiety ridden, if you're a procrastinator, a perfectionist, that all has a level of energy attached to it. And guess what? Where you're going, your revenue goal has a higher level. You can't get your goals done if you're down in that lower level. You have to elevate. It's called law of resonance. What you put out, what you resonate with, you get back. So how, if you have relaunches, if you have health issues, if you have team issues, they always say, time, team, money, three most important, write this down, three most important things in your business: time, team, money. If you're not where you thought you'd be at this point, it's called a reality check. Let's check your energy level and where are you operating from? But the best part is no matter what, and I've had a mom who ended up getting terminal cancer come live with me the same time my daughter was a senior graduating from high school. So you can imagine the sitting around a table and one is trying to have the best year of her life. The other is just trying to get through the year and still be alive at the end. And so I had to lean into 3HQ. And what came out of this was this concept of tune in. How do I elevate myself when there's heaviness, Mom? How do I stay at a higher level so that I can bring that light, that love, that inspiration to my business when there's something so heavy? How many of us right now, I'm going to ask you, have outside circumstances that are impacting your business right now? Because your business is a direct reflection of you. Write that down. Your business is a direct reflection of you. So if your business is not getting to that higher level of the top 2% in the world for entrepreneurs, why? What's going on with you? How can you give yourself that, what I call the daily dose, the dose to uplift you, to be able on the spot to elevate your energy? So tune in. And Jennifer, you said this. You said, okay, you're willing to be, go through this coaching process so that everyone can understand how powerful tune in is and you can start using it right away. So are you game?
I am ready to go. I will tell you what you did. I do want to mention this. What you said really just resonated for me because, when I'm reaching out, a lot of the things I talk to our clients about, it's not making up stories. If someone doesn't reply back to you, if someone doesn't return a call, it 99% of the time has nothing to do with you, right? People
good.
are fighting their own battles right now.
Yeah.
And so much of this I find is like, do you is it about compartmentalizing, or is it about kind of embodying everything that's happening and integrating that into your whole self when you are showing up at work? Where would you say? Because I will tell you, I believe I've been doing the former for a really long time.
Hmm.
I am able to compartmentalize. I'm able to get,
Mhm.
you know, not great news on one end and get right back to a meeting the other and show up. Um, but
And Jennifer, that's not, and here's the thing. You beat yourself up like, is that okay? Am I okay doing that? Is it disrespectful to when my mom died that I jumped on business calls the next day and still maintained and still moved forward? No, it's okay to be able to compartmentalize. We're able to do it. Our brains are wired to be able to do it, to be able to focus on whatever you're working on right now. But
mhm,
the issue is it's our own guilt. It's our own shame. Wait, I'm actually happy right now. And this horrible thing just happened. And, it's like that, the Teflon, letting it flow
yeah,
or having it be Velcro. It's like, whoop. No, your life is not intended to be guilt ridden, have shame. It's intended to reach higher levels with an understanding that relaunches have silver linings. And what's super interesting, Jennifer, is that I've done over probably now 275 interviews around significant relaunches in people's lives. And we're talking horrible, like people that have had dismemberment, people in their families die. One woman was zipped up in a body bag, and it's like, hey, wait a second, I'm not dead yet. Another, the molestation and, just awful. 9/11, we're talking about this today. And what's really interesting is that at the end, whether on camera or off camera, I ask if you could go back and have it be a completely a redo, would you? Jennifer, do you know not one person? We're talking like, where they've tried to take their life, they've blown off their leg, they've been shot at, all these things. Not one has ever said, I would go back and change that, because they are who they are now, with the business issues, with the life issues, with the
right.
relaunch issues. So, how do we manage to get ourselves through even the toughest situations? And the toughest situations can be like, I just had one of the crappiest quarters I've ever had in my business. How am I going to get to payroll? How am I going to get, how am I actually going to keep this business that I've been working on for 5, 10, 15 years alive? And so tune in. And in each step of tune in that I'm going to be taking you through 4 steps, there's something which I have incorporated in neuroscience at every single level that people don't even know that's happening behind the scenes. And I talked about the daily dose, because
Mhm.
if you keep doing tune in, it actually has a chemical reaction in your body. And those chemicals are hormones. They're the neurotransmitters, and they're the 4 major ones that make us feel better. They're dose, DOSE, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. And in each step, you're not going to know it, but I've infused them in. So by the end of going through tune in, boom, it's like, what just happened? I feel better. I can now elevate myself so that if I'm getting on a call, negotiating, getting on a stage, putting out a new offer, you're now operating at the level that you want to be working with the people that are going to be coming into your business, your clients. Because you don't want to ever create something at a low vibrational level, because what are you doing? You're killing whatever you're trying to do. If you put together a great email funnel and you're like, oh, I hate doing this, I just got to get it done. What vibration does that have?
Right.
If you're getting on a stage and you're like, oh my God, I hate, this is my worst thing. I hate being in front of people. What vibration are you bringing? What's the outcome? People don't even realize that we are energetic beings. And I don't even know why I feel so good around you, but I do. I don't know why when I walk into a room and the energy is just heavy, but it is. And how can you change that? So tune in. First step
Okay,
of
let's
tune
do
in.
it.
And I'm going to take you through again the 4 steps. First
Okay,
step is around what is your biggest challenge? Could also be your intention. What is your biggest challenge in your business? You could do this with a personal one too, but
sure.
let's stick with business. So, right now, Jennifer, when you think about your business, what is the biggest challenge that you have that's something that you'd really like to fix?
So we are in the middle of an up level. We have really upgraded our offer,
Mhm.
and what keeps coming through to me, I'm sure you know the story of the David, the statue. And they said, how to Michelangelo, how did you do this? How did you create this? And he said, I didn't. I just took away all the things that weren't him. And so as I have built my business, as I have grown personally and professionally, I've always thought of that story, because that is the goal, is to keep taking away the things that are not who we are, right? So what we have done is we have raised our prices.
Mhm.
As we've grown, our ideal client profile has really elevated as well. And so we have raised our program to match the needs of someone with a very high value offer. We're, $20,000 annual revenue or above for our clients when they sign a new business client. Um, and as a result, we still do the done for you, but we are now offering a lot more comprehensive support for all of the other places where they are creating leads and opportunities within the business.
Okay.
Um,
I'm sure a
so
lot of people can relate to this. It's time to, as you said, it's the relaunch where you're not feeling stuck, underwhelmed, or overwhelmed. You're like, hey, I want to up level my business.
yeah.
I want to relaunch into the next level. And that is something that we all can relate to because I call them the gates, right? And you've got gates in your business. Let's just stick with entrepreneurship. When you think about levels, there's always that first level of getting to 6 figures. Then you get the 250,000 mark for annual rev. Then you get 500. Those are gates. You get past them and it's like you have other issues. You have other things you're dealing with. Then you get 7 figures, the 1 million mark. Then you get to 2.5 million and you're dealing with different issues. Then you get to 10 million, then 50 million, 100 million, 250 million, and then you go up to a billion. And all of the gates bring new issues and you keep pushing, you keep bringing in new offers, you keep making changes. And there's that moment where you're like, how do I bring it out to my clients?
Mhm.
How do I share that the people I used to work with, I have this other solution now, but here's my future version of the company. Too many people think, oh, identity, my future identity is me. It's your future identity as you, and it's also the future identity of your business.
Okay.
Such a cool concept for you to be thinking about. So your challenge is now you're up leveling. And how do you make this all happen? How do you bring it out to your audience? So you've got a challenge, which means, as I said, energetically, a challenge, especially one where you're trying to figure things out, is at a lower energetic vibrational level. And as I mentioned, Simon Sinek, the whole like, it's not what or how, it's why. 3HQ is all about, if you think about it, getting out of your head into your heart. It's almost like an infinity, an ever loop that goes back and forth. It's not about just getting to the bullseye because we, as men and women, have outside forces that bring us back into our head. back into our emotions. So for us, it's not that bullseye of what's my why, what's my why. It is thinking about yourself as fluid, as aligned with where you're going. So what we want to do now is energetically align to where you're going. So the only way I can do this is if you have the challenge or lower vibration, I need to pop you up with step number 2 into what I call change your channel. Change your channel. And in order to change the channel, the vibrational channel, I do it with a power song. So what I want to ask you, and you played my power song at the very beginning, which is so awesome. This girl is on fire. But what is a song that when you hear it, it just lights you up? You can't be energetically at a low level. It pops you into a higher level.
Whitney Houston, I Want to Dance with Somebody.
Okay, everyone can hear it right now. We can hear it. We can even like probably see the MTV, little snippet of her, Whitney Houston dancing around.
Yes, I have totally dated myself, but man, it just will never get old for me.
It will never get old for me either. So neuroscience says that you have to think about it or hear it, and your subconscious doesn't know the difference between hearing it out loud or hearing it in your head. So I want you to actually hear the song. We're not going to play it out loud because we'd have to clip it out, but hear the song in your head. And you have to, neuroscience says for at least 20 seconds to change your state. 20 seconds. Scans, brain scans have showed after 20 seconds. And I always say 20 seconds goes by like that. So maybe it's the chorus that you love. Maybe it's this one. Think about it. And so I want you to take it from your head to your toes, move your body. You're changing your state. I want you to even, I know we're on, camera, close your eyes, hear it, process it, go right now. I want to dance with somebody. And you are not listening to it loud enough. Turn it up, Jennifer. Yes, she's got her hands in the air. She's doing it. She's moving her feet. Come on. Oh, God, it's good. Okay. So now keep going. You got about 5 more seconds.
Okay.
All right. You're hearing it. It's in you energetically. Your face is lighting up. I've had people that have worked with me that have gone into the office later and people are like, what'd you do to your face? What are you doing differently these days? Energy, people. It's what you do differently these days that matter. So now we're going to go on to step 3, because energetically, you're probably got goosebumps. You're probably feeling it. You're at a higher level. Yeah. And so now step 3 is about creating a mini movie in your mind. And what do I mean by that? I mean that you are looking out at an audience. You are on the stage. You are the star of the show. And why are you? Because you just nailed that challenge. And you now are sharing that with the audience. And they're saying, Jennifer, tell me more. How'd you crush that? How did you do it? And you're like, oh my God, I did it this way. I did it. It's already done. You're sharing, impacting with people out there. And what I want you to think about is, Jennifer, what color are you wearing? What color? What color is it? An outfit? Is it a dress? What's the color that comes to mind?
I feel like this will be the wrong answer, but I love black. I'll be wearing black.
You are so funny. I've had more black answers in the last 2 days. And here's the thing, it's great. In fact, I said Black Friday when somebody said, what color were you wearing? I said black. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to make that black shine. It is like the 10x that black. It is shimmering, it's shining, it's lighting up. It's so magnetic. And now I want you to tune back into, I want to dance with somebody. And I want you to feel the emotion of you sharing what you've done to get clients that are paying more, doing more, having you be their ultimate. They want it done for you. You want to do everything for them. What emotion is going through your body right now?
Excitement.
10x the excitement. Off the charts. You are on that stage. You are the star. You got the black. It is like magnetic out there. You've got excitement. And here's the thing. Neuroscience again. We're lighting up. If you could see your brain right now, it is lighting up in all different areas, but we want to capture an image. So right now I'm in a really bad hotel in Las Vegas. There is Las Vegas Boulevard. When I drive by it later, I want to see Jennifer on there. So we have to capture an image. We have to capture an image of you. So tune back into, I want to dance with somebody. You feel it. Tune back into that black, tune back into the faces that you're making an impact, tune back into excitement. And now I'm going to say the word click, and you are going to open and close your eyes like you are a camera taking a picture internally. Are you able to do this right now? Everybody, if you're not driving, I want you to practice this. Open and close your eyes when I say click, 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 click. Jennifer, do you have a picture? Okay, is it 1, 2, or 3? Which was best? Which is like your go-to picture right now?
The first one, I think.
Okay, that is the picture you are going to come back to. Your brain, your subconscious wants to keep you safe and familiar. This is your new familiar. The more you see that picture, the more you tune in, the more that your brain is like, hey, this is already done. This is already happening. This is already a part of Jennifer. We are creating energetically you having a revenue goal, you having the clients you want. So now we go into step 4. And just as a reminder, step 1, we had our what's the biggest challenge or your intention. Step 2, it was change the channel with the power song, 20 seconds. Step 3, this is all about the micro movie. It's the color, it's the emotion, it's taking that image. Now, step 4, tune back into your song. Hear it. And I want to ask you, it's about a micro action, a micro pop. These little pops, like think of a glass of champagne, little bubbles, little pops. It's all so small, but it all adds up and impacts that great glass of champagne. And we talk about champagne moments when things happen and you're like, wow, I didn't even have to work for that one. It just happened. This is where we're going with the tune in process. So I want you to tune back in. And what would be one micro action? And by the way, success likes speed. We're not going to do this tomorrow. We're going to do this today. What is one micro action that you could do right after we get off of this show that would lead you one step closer to that image of you on that stage? What could that be? What's one thing that you could do? Tune back into your song. We elevate our song so we can ask better questions, so we can get better answers, so that we can take better actions. A micro pop. What would that be?
A quick video share for my socials of
Okay.
what we've got coming.
Okay. Did you hear that? Everybody, quick is the key. She doesn't have to overthink this. This could be 30 seconds or less. Hey, just did this, and she does it. Now, when I'm coaching, I say clarity, plan, accountability. Clarity, she got clear on what she wanted. The plan is what she was saying on the stage. Accountability, Jennifer, once you do this quick video, you are going to text me and you are going to say, done.
I
Done.
will.
Now, here's the thing. This song will always be your go-to song when you are elevating your revenue. When you are creating something for your business to elevate it, you will automatically go to this song. And what's powerful here, everyone, is that when you create your go-to, she could start to do this in less than 2 minutes. I interviewed someone yesterday and she's like, I can do it in 1 minute. I've been doing this now. And so what I would like everyone to do as an action step is to go through the process that we just went through and send Jennifer, send me, done.
Love it.
Because those are those pop the champagne moments. And the more pop the champagne moments, the more we want more of those. and your brain is your biggest resource to allow you to have those. So way to go. Way to
I love
go.
that.
This
You know,
is so powerful.
I have to tell you, I've done a lot of exercises. I've done a lot of visualization. I've done a lot of used a lot of different modalities. This is so powerful and different because it is strategy plus manifestation, right? It is the visualization plus like, here's the science behind what you're doing. I love this. I love this. I'm so, thank you so much. I
It's
hope it's
literally
really
3H2
helpful.
in a nutshell. Because if you think about step one, biggest challenge is head. Step two, when you're elevating yourself with the song, is highest self, elevating your energy.
Yeah.
Step three is it's all heart, right? It's that energy around it. It's your why. It's the like, oh my God, here I am. And then we go back to step four and it goes back to the head. So it's this continuum. It's just, yeah, I agree. I think it's why I was put on this earth. Honestly, this is what I do. This is how I can work with the, top 2% in the world, because we always have something else that we can tune into every
So
time. It
how
never gets
often,
old.
like, get really granular with me.
Yeah. Okay.
How often do you do this
Okay.
in your
You talk about disruption. I want everyone to disrupt their day with tune in. I tune in. I actually like calendar it
Mhm.
before we talk about contact blocking,
Mhm.
switching, all that. Before I go on to whatever my next activity is, I tune in to that. What is my intention? What's my
Love it.
challenge on this? What do I want? And then I go to my next one. If all of a sudden a call comes in, oh boy, my energy, I just want like all the way down. I tune in. There are times, and I did a huge training last week with a mastermind group, and halfway through, I could just feel myself like, "Hey, I'm not where I need to be.
Okay.
They paid me to be at this event. I need to elevate." I tuned in, and they didn't even know it. And then I actually walked them through. I said, "Did you notice?" I started to nod my head. "Did you know I was tuning in right there? I was elevating myself back up." So I would encourage every single person that you never go back to back onto another call, another Zoom, another stage without giving yourself that 2-minute break to tune in. Watch the results. Watch what ends up happening to you
Mhm.
when you know you are about to go in and this is going to be a tough negotiation. This is going to be, I got to go. I've raised almost $10 million for one of my companies. And let me tell you, some of these VCs were tough. Tuning in before I went in. What is my expectations? There is a great, let me just, can I give one more little study that I think is so
Please, yeah.
fascinating? So there is a study done with monkeys, and the monkeys, one monkey got a nut, the other monkey didn't. They're sitting facing each other. And the monkey who has the nut, there's probes on the brain, and they can see that all of the areas in the brain that's lighting up as the monkey starts to crack the nut and eat the nut. Guess what happens to the other monkey as he watches? The same places in the brain are lighting up, yet he doesn't have the ability to crack the nut or eat the nut. It's the mirroring. He's elevating, law of resonance. He is
Yeah.
resonating with that monkey. So all of a sudden, if you're thinking, you've often heard about resting bitch face, right? Maybe I shouldn't be saying that on this, but
No.
it's that person that like has that bitchy face that you're looking at the Zoom and you're like, oh my God, you can just read the energy.
Right.
Well, sometimes they are not, they're actually happy. They just have this, they've been doing this so long that they don't even realize they're doing it. So here's what I
So,
recommend to everyone to be able to read your own energy. Put a mirror up behind your computer. Put a mirror up somewhere that can actually see how you look. Great on Zoom because you can see, you're
sure.
not
Yeah.
going to be looking down at yourself the whole time. You're looking in the camera, you're doing all that. But notice what you're putting out there. I had a team member who is amazing, amazing, But man, she got on Zooms and you're like, I mean, do you have a problem? Is there something we need to talk about? Are you going through a massive relaunch? No. Okay. Screenshot it. Look at this video again.
Yeah.
What is the energy that you're putting out? So tuning in before gives you a different, I told you about, a gal that ended up doing tune in 20 times a day. People are like, what have you done? Did you have a facelift? What products are you using? My God, are you using that like, infrared mask? What is happening? She's like, I'm not doing anything. But I'm tuning in. It's incredible. It is truly incredible. And here's the thing. We often talk about change takes a while. No, it doesn't. Tuning in can instantly, if you start to tune in, and it's like a muscle, you're getting used to it. That's why I say put it on your calendar. What will happen in a 5-day work week? I've had people, I had a woman this weekend who just started doing this. And she's like, within 24 hours, Hillary. And I always say, DM me, because this is what lights me up. This is, again, my impact in the world, my mission, my vision is all around this. This is why I can work with the top 2% in the world. This is why I craft events that I bring people together that are energy. I often say it's not like-minded people I want in the room. It's like energy, because that's who's going to fuel your fire to take you to the next level.
I love it. I want to mention, if anyone has questions for Hillary while we are here, please put them in the chat and I'll make sure to get to them. Hillary, I want to ask you, so I'm going to go through the 3 questions that we ask every guest. You've answered the first one, which is, how does your expertise bring more revenue to a business?
Tune in, 3HQ, all the way. All the way. This is the single most impactful way to increase your revenue, because money has a vibrational state to it. Success has a vibrational state to it. Who are you hanging out with? Who are you spending your weekends with? That has an energetic level to it. And so either you are going to be that like sponge of that energy, or you're going to be like, hey, I know that in order for me to attract whatever it's going to be, that I want to have, $1 million quarter, I want to have 100K month, I want to have whatever it is, that's at a different level of energy, or you would have already had it.
Right.
So tuning in, I cannot emphasize this enough. And it's so simple and so powerful. And the more you do it, the better you get at it. So I can literally go from my house to my office, and in the 50 feet, I can be like level, let's say, level 2, and I can pop myself up to a 10. Doesn't matter what's going on in my life. Doesn't matter, what crisis my 5 kids are going through. Doesn't matter what is happening. I am now operating at a higher level. Powerful.
How are you a disruptor in your space?
I'm really a disruptor because I see, I know what makes people successful. I understand, we've got Napoleon Hill, and who went out and interviewed 100 of the most successful people, the millionaires 100 years ago. I have the privilege of working with these people today. And so I know what is needed. What is their differentiator? How are they disruptors? And then what I do is I share that knowledge with the people who want to be the 2% and the people that are the 2%. It's like, pinch me right now. I just got chills. I think I have literally had, somebody called me the relaunch queen, because I've had so many relaunches, so many things that were out of my control, and even a near-death experience, right? But every one of them brought me to where I am. There was a silver lining for every single one. And when you can stop looking at things in your past, divorce, whatever, like you got to look at it differently. You got to look at it from what lessons did you learn? First off, if you don't, my God, they will come back to you. They will hit you again. I went ahead when I got divorced. I decided I want to really understand relationships because I want to find the love of my life. So I went and became a certified matchmaker at the Matchmaking Institute in New York. People will all of a sudden DM me, can you help me find the love of my life? Okay, I don't do that. But what I do is I take matchmaking skills, matchmaking to a new level with business, with clients. And if you think about all of this working together, it goes back to 3HQ, the head, the heart, the highest self. And I often laugh because when I do ask somebody, what do you want? What are you looking for in a man? Let's say,
Right.
and they'll say, well, what I don't want. Well, how often do we do that with our business? Well, what I don't want is another failed this. What I don't want is another team member that leaves too early. What is that? That's a very negative way to look at it. Instead, here's what I'm going for. Here's the tune in process. Here's me on a stage when this has already happened, having the greatest team, which I have, having people, clients that I work with, one-on-one groups that I'm seeing them up level. That's where remarkable that I keep talking about, remarkable. And I had Seth Godin on my podcast as well. And we talked about remarkable. And I believe the mark is the mark that you are meant to be leaving on this planet. How do we get there? How do we make you, when we don't know our expiration date, right? None of us do. That's the biggest like end of the relaunch you have. How do you, though, at this point, become that comeback kid? Because I told you I was called the relaunch queen. And I'm like, not going to own that one. Because when you say you're the relaunch queen, what's going to happen? You're going to have a hell of a lot more relaunches.
Right.
So I don't do that. I'm like, master of relaunches, I can handle. Relaunch queen, no.
So, when you're talking about the 2% and spending the time, the people that I have had the incredible experiences with over the last few years as my business has grown, and you are included in this group, of course, what I've realized is that as I am meeting more and more interesting people, more and more successful people, as my business is elevating and we are doing better, and like it just keeps getting better and better, I have zero tolerance for small talk, right? I have zero tolerance for the, the Debbie Downer, the Karen of the group of like, wah, wah. Like I have zero tolerance for it, of people who are like, yeah, but. And what I've realized is it is never a boring conversation. This 2%, these people who are like doing incredible, it is never boring. They are always doing the most exciting things. They have the most zest for life, the most enthusiasm, the most excitement, the most genuine care and interest in what you are doing and what you want, right? And it has been, a game changer in, in the way I want to spend my time, in who I want to spend my time with. It's so much more exciting than hearing people complain about whatever their current self-made situation is, right?
It's that catch yourself on what you're saying.
Right.
What I don't want.
Right. Exactly.
Come on, because that's what you're creating. Your thoughts
Exactly.
are your
I
reality.
did it for years. I did it for a really long time. I was expert at it and surrounding myself with people who were very good at it too. So I made sure I wasn't the only one. Okay, we have contact information in the chat. If you have any questions, now is your time. Hillary, my last question for you, I think we'll reiterate what I'm going to do today, but what is the number one thing that we can all do today to drive more revenue to our business. It's going to be tune in.
It's
Take
gonna be
ourselves
tuned.
through
And the
this.
one thing I would do, get your calendar out, put in green, make it green, make it,
Mm.
maybe you start with like 5 minutes before every single call.
Yeah.
You just end it before you end your call 5 minutes before your next, and you literally tune in. You have it on your calendar. Tune in, tune in. It is your future of getting every goal, of hitting every revenue goal, of increasing what we call lifestyle of success. This is what you need to be doing. And then you got to reach out and tell me. Now, I do have a free, everything I just talked about.
Yes. How can
in
people get in
terms-
touch with you?
Yeah, in terms of like the tune in process, go to tuneinpowertool.com, tuneinpowertool.com, and just sign up. It's a free PDF. You'll get that. So you'll have it and put it up behind you. Get that
We can
mirror
do that.
and
Yes.
then put this up. Make sure that this is tune in is everything. Put it on your phone. Tune in. I want you
Set
all to
reminders,
be
yeah.
tuning into your success. And then you can always go to therelaunch.com, and that is our website. And I'm super excited because in about a week, we're having a massive relaunch of our brand. So there will be a brand new free masterclass, and it's probably one of the most exciting things that I have ever done with my own business. So stay tuned for that.
I'm so excited to hear about that. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here. You guys, next week, we have Kim Brundage Photography, or Kim Brundage from Kim Brundage Photography, coming on to talk about how to use photography and your photos to help grow your business. And this is something I've learned so much from Kim over the years. I'm so excited for her to share with you. Hillary, thank you so much for this. I feel transformed.
I love
And
it.
I'm so excited. I'm going to give you all an extra minute right now so that you can all practice the tune in before whatever you have at the top of the hour. And I thank you. I'm so excited about this and to have this sort of tool to use going forward. And I cannot wait to text you when I do my video like I promised I would. You know I have to now.
You know you have to. And it's been a pleasure. And thank you for being such a disruptor yourself.
You guys, thank you so much, everyone, for being here. And I hope you all have the very best day ever.